All right, all right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I had to start over. Had to delete the last one. We had some technical difficulties going on. This is the Regular Guys podcast, and we're talking week 6 and week 7, and we also are talking picks from week 6 and week 7. It's gonna be a very exciting show. I got guests coming in, and I got my co-host that's gonna be calling in as well, Mr. William Young. A lot of y'all know him. And again, I got my normal people coming. So we're gonna go ahead and basically do our thing, and we're gonna, kick it off real good. All right, we back on a Regular Guys podcast. I'm up in here, and as I said, we talking week 6 and week 7. We also going over our week 6 picks, and we also going to be going over our week 7 picks. Want to get into a couple interesting games from last week. The first one, the Thursday night game, the Eagles against the Giants. I think the Giants came out and surprised a lot of people. I think the Giants did what the Giants expect. What you know, people were surprised that the Giants was going to do, and the Giants came out, and all the Giants did was their business. Giants, the Giants actually, you know, to me, gave Philly what, what Philly needed, and that's a reality check on the thing. That, hey, you know, everybody's saying it's dogs, but y'all really not the big dogs. So it was very interesting game. The outcome was definitely interesting, but what I liked the most was Jackson Dart. I think Jackson Dart came out. Jackson Dart did his thing. Jackson Dart went showed basically everybody what he was about. Jackson Dart came out, made his right reads, made the right decisions with the ball. I think Scatterboo is going to be a surprise running back in the league that nobody is expecting to take the reins of what Saquon Barkley did or where Barkley was at. I think he's going to be one of them where he is going to tell people, hey, this is where we're at. This is what's going on. This is who we are. And I think with that, he is going to take it to a totally, totally different level. I think if him, Malik first, um, and if pour the hat out the bag and put a hat trick and go after what reports been saying that they're going to do and get Jordan Addison, I think the Giants may save their season and may make a good run. I think they may be a surprise team that's in the NFC that is going to come out as one of the ones that is going to say, "Hey, we snuck into the playoffs," and I think that is going to, you know, speak volumes for a lot of people, and that is going to be like, okay, well, this is something that we didn't expect, and everything. I think with that being said, you know, the Giants with that defense, if they don't make a bonehead move and change the defense or try to get rid of the defense or trade certain pieces of the defense, I think the Giants can make a run. The Eagles, on the other hand, we're going to see. We're going to see how the Eagles come out of what they call this mini bye. Um, and I want to see how they perform this week. I think this week is going to speak volumes um, with the fact that they're coming off a loss from the Giants. They're coming off of what many feels should have been a beatable game for them. But then many of them is saying, what's the real issues going on with them? And what's the real, and is it moves that can be made that can solidify basically what's missing from them repeating as Super Bowl champions? Something that's remained to be seen. I think another team that's is going to surprise a lot of people also is Denver. I think Denver is a team that a lot of people isn't looking at and saying, "Hey, this Denver team is going to be that team. This Denver team is going to be that team that is going to, you know, make some noise in the West." A lot of people, still thinking, and I think with Rice coming back, the Chiefs has now propelled themselves to that second that thing of, okay, we're back. We're not going nowhere. We wasn't going nowhere. So and and with that being said, I think with that being said, I think that Kansas City may still take the West um, because of what they have as wide receiver with Rice coming back, with um Xavier Worthy, with Hollywood Brown, with a lot of the guys that can help Patrick Mahomes. You know, I think it's going to be something to watch. Everybody counting out, but you can't count them out. You can't definitely not count against the Chiefs. Um, I think the Rams is going to be another team that um is going to come out of the, the NFC West, and I think they're going to give the team trouble in a way that they is expected to. Um, they got the Jacksonville Jaguars this week. I picked the Rams because I think the Rams is going to go into Jacksonville, even though this game is in London and it's one of the early games at 9:30. I think the other one is the Colts. I think the Colts made the right decision when they went after Daniel Jones. I think with Detroit, I think with I'm sorry, the Colts getting Daniel Jones and able to basically build your offense around his strengths. They build their offense around what Daniel Jones can do, which makes Daniel Jones a formative quarterback and probably probably a dangerous quarterback as well. Um, I think Daniel Jones is one that he I can see the coach winning the South. I don't have Jacksonville winning. I think Jacksonville is probably going to be the wild card team. Jacksonville will probably be the 6th seed. I don't think they're going to be the 5th seed. I really do think that. the Colts are going to win their division, and I'm looking at the Colts being like between a 3 and possibly even, and I'm gonna be surprised that I'm saying this, and possibly even a 2 seed coming out of the going into the AFC playoffs. Buffalo to me is still up in the air. You know, they showed some things that was good. They showed some things that was bad. I think them losing like they did really, really put a lot on people's mind and saying, "Hey, is this team really the team?" Um, I think with the fact that the way that the Patriots are playing and the Patriots is able to do what they did with Drake May, I think it's going to be an interesting game against Tennessee. Um, I do believe, and I think I can say this, I do believe that unless Buffalo turns some things around, I do believe that New England can come back and win the East and knock Buffalo to that 5th seed in the East. I think they could become that top seed. If they don't become that top seed, look at Kansas City becoming that top seed. But I do think Kansas City is probably going to be a number 3 seed. Better yet, I think they probably may be, yeah, a number 3 seed because I will have New England 1. I would say Denver 2, the Colts 3. Um, I know the Colts schedule favors them to become a top seeded team. We will see. Like I said, this is Daniel Jones. You got to know which Daniel Jones you're going to get. Are you going to get our regular, you know, are you going to get the New York Giants Daniel Jones, or are you going to get this new and improved Daniel Jones? And that's definitely something that I want to see. Um, Another team is the 49ers. I think the San Francisco 49ers, I'm going to say this. I think they're going to have an issue at wide receiver. And the reason, I mean, at quarterback. And the reason why I say I think they're going to have an issue at quarterback is because you have a team that is doing good with Mac Jones. Mac Jones, again, is in the system that they're tailored the system around him. They're tailoring a system where he can go out and he can be successful, just like Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones, who was successful um, with him, it should be the same. Um, I think Mac Jones, once the weapons come back, once Mac Jones shows what keep showing what he can do. I think Mac Jones could probably by the trade deadline get traded. I think San Francisco is going to have a monster on their hands where they're going to get thrown probably a lot of picks to get rid of Mac Jones. Um, I'm looking at Pittsburgh in the North. I think Pittsburgh could win that division. Um, and that's all I think that they can win that division. I think if they get into the playoffs, there's going to be one and done again. They're going to be a doormat for a team to go into the second half of the second round of the playoffs. Another team that's playing great and their quarterback is really playing great is Tampa Bay. I think with the Buccaneers and the way that Tampa's playing, especially with the injuries that they have, I think Tampa Bay could be a team that can surprise a lot of people. I think Tampa Bay is going to be a team that's going to make that run a deep run into the playoffs. If, and this is only if, Baker Mayfield keep playing like Baker Mayfield is playing. If he digress in some way in the later part of the season or going into the playoffs and that pressure gets to him, I think it's going to be something where a lot of people is going to have to, look at and say, we we thought he could do it. We understand that he could do it, but I don't know. Can he do it? So that's another one that I'm looking at that I'm like, let's see what happens with that. You know, another one is, what Chicago did in DC. It was a good game. They pulled it out with the last second field goal. And what I'm gonna say on that note is I think they can make some noise, but how much noise? I think if Caleb Williams continues to play like Caleb Williams is playing, I think Caleb Williams can go out here and shock a lot of people. I think what he can do, what Caleb Williams showed a lot of people is, hey, I'm here, I can play, but, and this is a big but, how can he handle certain situations? Um, Again, it just depends, It just depends on what they do. It just depends on if he can remain consistent at what he is doing. If he can if he can say, okay, I went to Washington, I want to show y'all that it wasn't a fluke of what I did and what was done. Um, I do believe that they are capable of making a run. Now, are they capable of making a run in? Are they capable of making a deep run in the playoffs? No, I don't think so. I think Detroit and Green Bay, and if Minnesota get their act right, Minnesota is going to nip that in the bud. Um, Again, the rest of the way that this is being set up and the way that everything is being set up to run is going to be very interesting. Like I picked Pittsburgh to win Thursday night, and what did Pittsburgh do? They dropped the ball. So you never know. You never know what the outcome is going to be. You never know, who is what and who is going to do what. Um, Again, it's weird. It's strange to see certain teams or certain quarterbacks playing like they playing. Like I said, Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is one that is totally, a shock and a surprise to me. Um, my biggest disappointment is the Ravens. I think the Ravens was a team that I expected to say, hey, I didn't expect them to be, what are they, 1-4 right now? I didn't expect them to be 1-4 at this time. And this is my guy's team. This is Williams' team. And, I wish he was on here where he could tell us basically, hey, what is really going on in Baltimore? I was one that said it several times. They don't need Derrick Henry. They didn't need Derrick Henry. They still don't need Derrick Henry. What they need is help on the outside. They need help on the outside to where that help can manifest itself into wins. It can manifest itself into championships, you know. But with the fact that Lamar doesn't have that help and they're not giving Lamar that help, it's something that makes you want. I think if they give Lamar that help and let Lamar, as the youngsters say, cook, we'll see. You know, we'll see a lot. Um, I want another surprising team is Atlanta. Atlanta, I like what Michael Penix is doing. Michael Penix, Bijan Robinson, Drake London. I think I like what they're doing down there. I like the confidence that these guys are playing with. Um, if you lack that confidence, you lack the formula of winning, and they have that confidence in them where they can win games that matters, and that's what they have done. They have won games that matters. Um, Cincinnati. I didn't expect Cincinnati to do what Cincinnati did, but I think you know the trade that Cleveland made to send him to Cincinnati was crazy. It's certain in trade divisions, it's certain things that you do, and it's certain things that you don't do. And I think one of the things that you don't do is trade within your division, especially to a team that needed a quarterback. Um, I think with them being what is it, a game and a half out now for Pittsburgh, it's going to be very interesting. I think they're 3-4, and Pittsburgh is 4-2, so they're a game and a half out now. Instead of Pittsburgh stretching that league to 3.5 games out, that one is going to be very interesting. And then I want to see what my guy's going to do. I want to see what Jaden's going to do tomorrow. 425 national TV, America's game of the week. Us against the Cowboys. We going into Dallas, who defense got gashed last week by the Carolina Panthers. Uh, Carolina ran the ball all over them, and Dallas act like they couldn't even stop a baby from crawling between that defensive line. that's how that's how bad that was. Um, Dak played good, of course. I think with CD Lamb coming back, Turbo Turbin out there, George Pickens out there, we gonna see. We're gonna see what happens. We're gonna see what Jaden can do, uh, how much Jaden can handle. But I want to see what Dallas is going to do as well. Dallas has no rush, and I want to see what Dallas is going to do without the rush. I think, um, and they also don't have Diggs, and I think that is what's going to hurt. That may hurt them. That may help them. Not having Diggs out there. I think what's going to happen is I think you're going to see. I think what's going to happen is, and what's going that is going to become a very interesting and a shootout. I think that is going to be one that is going to. I think that is going to be one that is going to surprise a lot of people, and I think that is going to be one. I think that is going to be one that is going to be a very interesting game um, going in. I think this. I think this Dallas game is going to tell us a lot when it comes to. I think this Dallas game is going to tell us a lot when it comes to doing, you know, on. I think this Dallas game is is going to be very interesting. It's going to, tell us a lot and let us tell me, a lot about what we're doing and how we're going to play. Um, Another game that I want to check out is what the Raiders is going to do. I expected the Raiders to do a little bit more than, you know, what was it? What I think a lot of, I think there's a, they were supposed to surprise a lot of teams, but they didn't. But I want to see what they're going to do tomorrow against Kansas City. I think them being in Kansas City, them playing Kansas City, it tells me it's going to tell me basically, hey, is this the team that we thought, or is this going to be that team that we're going to say, nah, I don't think so. I don't think this is that team yet. So we're definitely going to see. We're definitely going to see what's going on, and how we are going to approach it with them, and how we're going to handle the situation when it comes. Or we'll see how they're going to handle the situation when it comes to that. I do think that um, if the Raiders do pull it off tomorrow and beat Kansas City, it speaks volumes about Kansas City. If they don't beat Kansas City, then it speaks volumes about you know them. So as I'm gonna see, how that's going to. I want to see how that's going to pan out and everything else. Again, it's to me, it's going to be like the Raiders. It's going to show me, heck, this is what the Raiders is doing. This is this this is what's going on with this. This is what's going on with that. So, like I said, it's going to speak volumes. It's going to tell me a lot, and it's something that I'm trying to understand. That I'm trying to say, hey, let me understand what's going on. Let me see what's going on. And again, it's one of them where, hey, we're gonna see. Um, my picks. A lot of my picks that that happened. I think a lot of the picks that happened last week, I was 10. I wound up having 10 correct. Um, which isn't a surprise, but that's me picking on the thing. That's me picking on by what I'm looking at and what I was explaining earlier about the play of just not the quarterback, but the play of the team itself on all three phases, and also the people that's on the sidelines calling the plays, calling in everything. Are they putting their teams in the right position to win games? Are they putting their team in position to be successful? Are their team hitting the angle? Is their team coming off the blocks? Is their team, in the gaps, um, protecting the gaps, and just basically doing their job, as Bill Belichick says? And a lot of them, um, surprisingly, has been. I think a lot of them, surprisingly, has done that. And I think a lot of them hasn't. So we're going to see. We're going to see how everything pans out. And again, like I said, we're going to look at this week's games. Um, especially with the Miami game, you got a pair of 1-5 teams playing each other. Let's see what Dylan Gable can do against Miami. Let's see what Minnesota. That's another one. Let's see what Minnesota is going to do against Philly, and let's see if the Jets can get their first win against the Carolina Panthers. I think it's going to be a lot of things happening that we didn't expect. I think it's going to be a lot. It's going to be some teams getting upset. It's going to be some teams that's supposed to win that's not going to win. Another one is again the San Francisco against Atlanta, Tampa Bay against Detroit. I want to see how that pans out. I want to see what Seattle is going to do. Can Seattle go 5-2? Can Detroit go 5-2? Can they send Tampa to 5-2? Can Atlanta go 4-2? Can San Fran go 5-2? Can Washington go 4-3? Can they send Dallas to 2-4-1? You know, it's it's a lot this week that I want to see that's going to happen. Can the Rams go 5-2 and drop the Jacksonville's to 4-3? Again, can Chicago come out and can Chicago jump on top first? Can Chicago maintain that lead? Can Chicago, playing New Orleans Saints team? Can Chicago say, hey, we coming out, we playing this team, we're gonna continue from our success from last week. Again, we had a lot of games from last week that we didn't expect to, you know, go like they went. The Philly game, the Jacksonville game, Buffalo, Washington, um, who else? I'm gonna Indiana. I didn't expect the coach to play like they're playing, but again, it's quarterback play. It's how your quarterback plays. And the system that they tell it around him and the weapons that's around him. Um the Rams, I kind of expected that because of who they was playing. And again, we're gonna see what happens. I think the good thing about this week is Baltimore goes into this week under the bye. And I think this gives them a chance to figure it out. It gives them a chance to say, hey, what do we have to do to make this run? First thing I'm going to say, everybody, the first thing I'm going to start off with is you got to get more weapons. You got to get more weapons. You got to get receivers. Okay, the trade deadline is coming up. What moves can you make? What moves can you make to get yourself the receivers that you need? What move can you make to improve what needs to be improved? Then you got to work on your defense. Then when you work on the defense, once you work on that defense and you get that defense correct, then I think Baltimore can make that run. But until Baltimore get that defense and they get them weapons for Lamar Jackson, it's going to be hard for them. And Eric DeCosta has to realize one thing, and that is this: a first round pick. So I'm getting ready to get deep into it now. So if you got a winning record and you're picking anywhere between 20 and let's say 30, let's say 20 to 32, okay? That's an early second round pick. That's like one of them 1B, 1C guys, okay? So if you know you're constantly going to pick 25 to 27 to 20, get rid of them picks because that's a high second round pick. Get yourself a second, get yourself a third, get yourself a fourth round pick back. That is something that they're looking at. Okay, let's just cover it. No, if I'm going to make my team better, if I know I can make my team better, that is what I'm going to do to make my team better. I am going to basically solidify the fact of saying, hey, I'm going to make my team better. I'm going to do what I have to do for my team to be better. And in order for me to make my team be better, I'm going to do what it takes to make that team better. You know, again, the Ravens could make a run, but are they going to do it? Are they going to go into the trade deadline and let's put everything all in? F it. Let's do it. Let's go out here and make a splash. Let's go out here and show everybody we're back. Can they do that? Do I believe that they can do it? They could. But again, you got a general manager that to me is not understanding how being a GM is or what being a GM is because he is not doing to me what he should to make his team successful. And that's right there to me isn't a GM. If you look on NFL Network, if you look on everything else that you look on where you get your sports at, they, hey, bring Dean Pease back, bring this back. But no, you don't need to do that. What you need to do is tell that guy that's on the sideline, your head coach, John Harbaugh, and say, hey, Harbaugh, put your ego aside, bruh. This is our team. We are family. We are one. You shouldn't hear riffing amongst your coaches. You shouldn't hear riffing amongst the players. The players don't want to be there and all of that. DeCosta, Harbaugh, fix it. It's fixable, but it starts with y'all. It starts with the coaches. It starts with the general manager. Get it straight, get the right people in Baltimore, and they can make a run. Going down Interstate 95. I'm talking to my team, the Commanders. We got to figure out what are we going to do. Um, our GM made two interesting moves actually, which was they brought in Drake Jackson from the 49ers, which to me he can be another Javon Kinlaw when he get healthy, and he can actually be that edge rusher that they need or that they so coveted. Now the thing is, having that edge rusher that you so coveted, get him out there, see what he can do. The thing I like about the move that he did was he made a move for a younger guy. He made a move to say, hey, Ron Rivera messed his team up. How did Ron Rivera mess his team up? Ron Rivera messed his team up by the stupid picks that they had. He messed the team up by everything that they did that was crazy. So now he's trying to fix it. He comes in fixing it right. AP comes in and he's doing his thing. And so I think having bringing in Drake Jackson was a smart move for them. It was a smart move for everybody. That having Drake Jackson out there, that going after Drake Jackson and bringing in Drake Jackson and saying, "Hey, this is our guy." That was smart. You got yourself a young guy. You don't have that age no more, which is good. Um, which I like. Again, I I like the move. I like what they did. I also like the fact that they brought in another person and Traylon Burke. Traylon Burke, first round pick. A lot of people say Traylon Burke was a bust. Traylon Burke is getting ready to show people why he's not a bust. Um, you go get a guy that's familiar with the style of offense that we're running, which you may have a handful of plays for him tomorrow. Because of course they're going to bump him up with Debo now sitting down. Terry's out and Noah Brown's out. So all three of your top receivers are out. So now it's the young guy's turn. Let's see what Luke is going to do. Let's see what Jalen Lane is going to do. Let's see what Burke is going to do. Let's see what Robbie Chosen is going to do. Let's see what um Ja'Cory Brooks is going to do. I like that guy. They need to get him out there. Let's see what the tight ends is going to do. Let's see what Zach Ertz is going to do. Let's see what the running game is going to do. Let's see what they're going to do. Let's see what kind of noise. Let's see what kind of mismatches and everything. But the thing is, let's see what our guy on the sideline, Cliff Kingsbury, let's see what he cooks up. Let's see what he's working on in the lab right now. Let's see if they let Cliff cook tomorrow, which I do think they're going to let him cook tomorrow. I think they're going to let him do his thing tomorrow. And that is something that definitely needs to be done. On the defensive side of the ball, to me, um, you need to move Mikey Sanders still back outside. Put Lattimore in the slot. Go with your current role that you have on the front line. You got Von Miller. Von Miller is doing his thing. Send Frankie Louvu more on blitz packages. Matter of fact, just send him period. Bobby Wagner, don't put him in coverage. Send him to the quarterback. If you're going to run a 4-3 and your weakness is that second level, you got to hide that second level. How? You bring a Donnell Savage in or a CJ Gardner Johnson. You bring him in. You put him close to that line. Help with that run support, but also help with the tight ends that's going out. You help with that third wide receiver. You know, you get that help along with Quan Martin back there. But I do think that you need to bring Wagner. You need to bring Louvu. You need to put them, let them rush, let them cook, let them do their thing, let them do what they do. All right, so last week we did our picks last week. And of course, my sidekick William, he finished at, let's say, he finished he finished 7-8 last week. Um, which puts him now as 37, 39, and 1. Um, I wasn't able to do my sister-in-law's, my brother-in-law's just in time, but I think she finished at, I want to say 10-4, and he finished, I think, at like 11-3, somewhere like that, which moved their totals up. I finished at I finished at 10 and I finished at 10-5 last week. Okay. Now, with that being said, you know what it is. Um, um, so what we're going, um, I'm getting into the picks, and I'm going to see how the picks is going to, you know, okay. I got y'all. Give me 1 second. I got y'all. Okay, that should have did it. Um, Let me see if I can unmute y'all mic. I got my guests on here that I've been waiting for. I'm trying to unmute them, and for they are on here. I know they can hear me, but for some reason their mic is muted on their end. It might be muted on their end. Because user unmuted successfully. It's showing that y'all are unmuted successfully on my end, and I see that y'all are connected. Try on y'all end and see if y'all can unmute on y'all end. I see that y'all are in the room. They're here. They're in the room. They're listening. I'm doing my best to unmute them, and they're unmuted, but I think it's on their end for them to get unmuted. They have been invited to come in. Let me see. And it shows that they're connected. Check your settings and see if it's on y'all end because everything's on this side is working. And I see that y'all are connected. Um, it may be your system. Check your system and see. I wanted to see if theirs was like some kind of block on, but y'all not blocked. So I know that for a fact. Let me see something. Block, unblock. Yeah. Yeah. See what's on y'all end. Um, and hopefully y'all can get it cleared up because I see that y'all are in. Let me, because I definitely want to get their insight on this week, on last weekend's games, and then also their games for their insight on this week's games and what their teams and everything is going to do. Um, so I'm working it. My end is work. I'm trying to get so whatever system y'all are on, check the mic on y'all end. Go into y'all settings or something and see if y'all can unmute or something. But I know that y'all are. I know that y'all are in. I can see that y'all are in. Um, can y'all see the chat on y'all end? Like where you can type into the box or something? Let me see something. Hold on. Let me see something. So yeah, so I've been I've been working your on y'all end. It is unmuted on my side. Okay, let me. So I see that y'all are, like I said, I see that y'all are in there. I'm going to tap you. It may be the speaker on your phone or something. Um, cause y'all are unmuted on my side. Um, I just can't hear you from your end, and I know that y'all can hear me, but I can't. I see y'all, but I can't hear y'all. And I see where it says that you're muted on. It looks like you're in. Let me see if I can make something happen. It was invited to speak. Let me. Okay, let me try to. So what I'm going to do is, and y'all may have to do this. Y'all may have to cut your system off and then reset it. Try to reset your whole thing and then try to come back in. I'm reset. Send y'all the link. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get them back in here. They do have the link to jump back in because I think what happened is with the link with the thing getting changed. I think that's what happened, and my current link is to this current one and not the old one. Um, Again, like I said, so the picks was good last week. Um, some of the like I said, some of the ones that was made came out good. Some of the ones that wasn't made didn't come out good. I think that we had fun last week. We definitely had fun last week. We definitely had fun um with doing our picks, picking our teams, and I think we was all together on a couple of them. Um, I think we was together on a couple of the picks, and we got them right. And then I think a couple of them we didn't get right. So, you know, it is it is what it is. It is what it is, and I think it's going to be, you know, interesting again. Um, this week with the slew of picks that's going to be, coming in and everything else. And when we make these picks this week, I think it's going to be some interesting picks. This week, especially out of the teams that are playing and what we expect to happen. Um, Again, I think we're going to expect the unexpected from some teams, and we're going to expect the expected from some teams. Um, like I said, last week picks was real good. You know, we did our thing. We handled our business. We did kind of good. We did good. I appreciate the everybody's insight on it last week. It was good. So this week we're going to definitely get into it this week. So this week picks basically I'm going to go with Wheels first, who's my co-host. He's not on here. Um oh, he's supposed to be he's supposed to have been on here. He didn't, but it is what it is. That's that's my boy though. Still love him. So this week, this is the one of the ones that I went with, which was a Thursday night game. I picked I picked Pittsburgh. I think that's who will. I I picked Pittsburgh and Cincinnati lost. I mean Cincinnati won that game. Pittsburgh lost that game. Um, I got the Rams over Jacksonville. I think the Rams is going to go into London after coming off this Baltimore win, and I think they're going to beat them. And I'm going 28-10 Rams. Chicago. I think Chicago is going to edge out New Orleans and get their fourth win of the year and beat New Orleans. I got Chicago winning that game 31-10. I'm gonna surprise. I'm gonna surprise everybody with this one. I'm gonna surprise everybody with this one. I'm going. I'm going Cleveland. I'm going Cleveland over Miami. I think. I think Cleveland is going to. I. I think Cleveland is going to come out and handle their business and finally win. I think Dylan Gabriel is going to have a good game against Miami. It's too much turmoil in Miami for me to not for me to pick them. I got Kansas City over the Raiders. I think Kansas City is going to get over 500. for the first time this year. Um, I got them. Oh, the Miami game, I got it being 17-10. The Browns. I got the Kansas City game. I got it being 27-24. Kansas City. I think they're going to edge it out and they're going to win that one by a field goal. I got. Hopefully, this is a get right game for them. I got the Eagles over Minnesota. I don't think Carson Wentz is going to do what everybody think he is. He's going to go in there and light it up and do what Joe Flacco did. I don't think he's going to. It will be great, but I don't think he's going to do it. And I got Philly winning their fifth game. I got Philly winning that game 31-17, Philly. Um, the Jets against the Carolina Panthers. I think Carolina is hype. I think Carolina is going to come off cocky. I think they're going to come off and saying, "Hey, we're going to overlook the Jets and we're going to beat the Jets." And that's where I'm going with the Jets on. I think the Jets get their first win of the season, and I think the Jets is going to pull that game out 20-17. Tennessee and New England. I got the Patriots winning that game. I got I got them single handed. I got them handily winning that game, and I'm gonna go something like 40-14. Hey, they're going to just give it to them, and it's not much that can be done about that. Um, um, I'm going. I'm going Denver over the Giants. I think the Jackson Dark Ride comes to an end. That Denver defense, especially them playing in Mile High, that Denver defense is going to show off. I think Bo Nix is going to do his thing, and I think they're going to get their fifth win. Um, the Chargers and the Colts. I think Danny Dimes is going to do his thing. I think he's going to go into LA and that Denver game, that Denver Giants game. I got the Giants winning that game 35-10. Um, I got the Chargers. I got the Colts over the Chargers. I think the coach is going to go into LA and basically say, "Hey, we ain't scared of y'all. We're going to go ahead and handle this." I think Danny Dimes is going to do his thing again and win and get his sixth win of the year. And Shane Steichen is going to be ecstatic. I got them winning that game 24-17. Um, the next one, Green Bay and the Heat. Green Bay a hot zona. They playing the Arizona Cardinals. I think Green Bay. We're just going to see how they do coming off of this. What is it? This loss or this bye? I think Green Bay is going to be one that is going to pull it out, and they're going to wind up going 4-1-1, and they're going to beat Arizona, and I think they're going to beat Arizona handily, and I'm gonna give Green Bay that win, 38-10. My Commanders against the Cowboys. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a hard fought game. Um, it's going to be Dallas run defense against Washington's run. It's going to be the 31st ranked defense against the number one ranked rush offense, and we're going to see what they're going to do. Um, I'm a I'm a realist. I'm a sports fan as well too. I love sports. I love all sports. I may sound crazy, but I got to give Dallas the edge on this game. The only reason why is the fact that Washington is missing three wide receivers. Debo's out, Terry's out, and Noah's out. And unless Lane, McCaffrey, and Burke can step up and handle their business, I think I think that they will win it but it's going to be a close game. It's going to be extremely close game, and it's going to come down to a last second field goal. And like I said, I think Dallas will probably pull it out 23-20. But I might get proven wrong tomorrow. My team, my boys will probably wind up doing it. Then we got the Sunday night game. We got San Fran against Atlanta. That's going to be a battle. I I I will say this. On that note, I will say this that you know if Mac Jones keep playing the way that Mac Jones is playing, I think Mac Jones is going to come in and handle his business. And I think Mac Jones may pull that one out, especially with Atlanta going to San Francisco. So I'm gonna give the edge to San Francisco, and I'm gonna give it a 24-21 game. Detroit going into Tampa Bay going into Detroit, a 5-1 team against a 5-2 team. Detroit is playing some good ball right now. And so is Tampa. This is going to be a dog fight. This is going to be a shootout. It's not going to end in a tie, but it's going to end on a 34-31 win. And I'm going to give that win to the Lions. Seattle and Houston. I like what Mike McDonald is doing as the head coach of Houston, as the head coach of Seattle. He's a defensive minded coach, but he got this team playing good. He should be in Baltimore. He should be the Baltimore's head coach and not Harbaugh. That's for next week. We're going to talk about that next week when the Ravens play next week, and hopefully we will have my guy on here next week. Let's go. I got Seattle winning that game. I got Seattle winning that game with a score of 28-3. It's going to be a a, a, a shootout. Now I'm going into my guys' Will's picks. So he got the Rams over the Jaguars. He didn't get no scores. He just texted this in because he's out handling some business. But he's going with the Rams over the Jaguars. He's going with the Eagles over the Vikings. He's going with the Patriots over the Titans. He's going with the Panthers over the Jets. He's going with the Dolphins over the Browns. He's going with the Bears over the Saints. He's going with the Chiefs over the Raiders. He's going with the Colts over the Chargers. He's going with the Broncos over the Giants. He's going with the Packers over the Cardinals. He's going with the Commanders over the Cowboys. He's going with Atlanta over the 49ers. He's going with the Lions over the Buccaneers. And he's going with the Seattle Seahawks. And then my sister-in-law and brother-in-law, I got their picks, which surprisingly, I think a couple of them we was good on, and then a couple of them, it is what it is. But I'm going to say theirs. My brother-in-law, Collins, he had the Steelers on Thursday night, which that turned out to be a loss. We know that. He got the Rams 27-17. He got the Vikings 24-21. He got the Patriots 35-10. He got the Jets 17-14. Collins, me and you agree on that one. I think the Jets is going to beat the Panthers. Man, with two. That's why we're the same sign. Two great minds think alike. That's right. Um, the Browns too. See, two great minds think alike. You got the Browns. The Bears, we agree on the Bears as well. You starting to look more like me with these picks, Carlos. You might have a great week. You might have an undefeated week. Heck, you might be like me. You might have an undefeated week. I'm 50, 19, and 1. You might catch me. You might pass me this week. But yeah, you got the Bears 24-14. You got the Chiefs 31-13. You got the Colts 28-24. You got the Broncos 35-17. You got the Packers 38-14. You got the Cowboys 21-17. You got the Falcons 28-24. I think that's the only one that we don't have. And then the Lions 35-31 and the Seahawks 27-24. I think Collins looked at my picks. I will say that. I think he looked at my pick. I think some way, somehow he tapped into my phone. You know how they be sending the pings out? I think he pinged my phone to see my picks. And because we are like spot on. My sister-in-law, she picked the Steelers, was wound up losing that one. She got the Jaguars over the Rams. She 17-14. She got the Vikings 21-16. She got the Patriots 24-16. She got the Panthers 21-9. She got the Browns 28-17. She got the Bears 32-31. 32-21. She got the Chiefs 42-14. She got the Chargers 21-14. She got the Broncos 24-19. She got the Packers 26-17. She got the Cowboys 12-7, 124-7. She wishes. I'm gonna go 12-7 or 24-7, either one. She got the 49ers. Interesting. The 49ers 21-14. She got the Lions 40-22. And she got the Seahawks 32-14. The only reason why I said that the 49er ones is interesting, and with me picking them as well as you, it's going to be interesting because I think we're thinking the same thing. That quarterback is going to come out and is going to play lights out. But with that note, and on that note, and each and every week, I like to thank everybody that was on the live stream today. I like to thank everybody that was listening and everybody that who tried to get in or come on. My brother-in-law, my sister-in-law, and my buddy. We're going to get into it next week with some good topics. My sister-in-law said the score she picked was correct, 124-7. If Dallas scores 100 points, I'll become a Dallas fan and wear a Dak Prescott jersey, which that ain't gonna happen. So we already know they ain't gonna score 100 points. So love you, sis, but still that ain't gonna happen. But we're gonna we're gonna do, we're gonna get into some deep talk next week. Hopefully they're here, they're on here next week. I had to do the late time today because my grandson scored 2 touchdowns and he did his thing today. But we're gonna look at around 10 o'clock. That gives everybody enough time to get up, get their coffee, and basically, see the outcome of the games. I'll see y'all. We'll see y'all next week. I'll see y'all on the stream next week. And I want y'all to enjoy y'all weekend and enjoy y'all game and stay safe. And do me a favor. Stay away from them No Kings Valley, because them folks ain't playing out there. Love y'all, love the audience, love everybody. Love, peace, and hair grease. That's the Good Guys Podcast, the Regular Guys Podcast, and we're gonna be talking week 7 and week 8 next week. Enjoy y'all weekend and enjoy the slew of games for this weekend. Appreciate y'all.